Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Florida Department of Transportation District 6 Put It Down Distracted Driving Campaign Partnership Kickoff Meeting. Just again, for housekeeping purposes, we ask that everybody turn off your video and your audio until the very end of the presentation. And just so you know, we are recording this presentation so that we can share it later in our website and for those that missed today's event. So again, welcome. My name is Carlos Sarmiento. I'm the Community Traffic Safety Program Coordinator and Campaign Manager for FDOT District 6. And with me today is Jeanette Gorgas from Media Relations Group. She's my right-hand person throughout this whole campaign. And behind the scenes, we also have members of the consultant team from Media Relations Group. So thank you guys for helping out today.
Absolutely. And thank you all for joining us.
So Jeanette and I will be kind of tag teaming today throughout the presentation, and any questions you have, please also include her as well as myself. So I'd like to welcome all the partners. I know that last year was a crazy year for everybody, including us here in DOT. It changed the way we've done campaigns. As many of you already experienced, we had to downshift significantly with our campaigns. Instead of being a traditional 2 to 3 month long campaign, we did actually 2 to 3 week mini campaigns. The good thing is that we're back kind of on schedule for 2021 with the launch of this campaign, which is expected to last about just a little over 2 months. Today is the official kickoff. Campaign actually officially launches in the 1st of March and ends at the end of April. But we welcome all you partners, and if you know of anyone that would like to be part of this, please make sure you let them know to contact us. So the Put It Down campaign really hasn't changed as far as its objectives and mission. The only thing that has really changed significantly has been the state law in the last couple of years when it changed from a secondary violation to a primary violation. But our goal is still the same. And as you can see in the objectives, we obviously want to educate the public about the dangers of distracted driving. Obviously, there is emphasis on cell phone usage and texting, but the mission is to educate in general distractions. Obviously, we have a goal down in our district to eliminate fatalities and injuries that are related to distracted driving. We still have a ways to go, but with your help, both on the education side and social media, and certainly with our partners in law enforcement, we can achieve that. But of course, our campaigns wouldn't be possible without the contributions of the partnerships. So it's very important that we sustain our partnerships, attain new ones, and continue to build on that.
We really can't do this without you, and know that we're here to support you. However, we can simplify the process. It's very simple, and we'll get into it as we go through the presentation. But again, we're here to support you throughout the entire campaign.
Indeed. So here are just a few bullet points. Many of you already know the existing law, but we try to educate the public about what the offenses are. First offense is a non-moving violation with a base fine of $30, plus additional fines for court costs and fees, which obviously goes way higher, and no points assessed to the driver's license. However, on the second offense, within the 5 years, the base fine increases to $60, and of course, there's court and other fees associated with that, plus 3 points assessed to the driver.
Please keep in mind that the court fees do change per county.
Correct. Thank you, Jeanette. And then, of course, there's also the violation within school zone and construction zones where you're not even allowed to have the cell phone in your hand, whether you're using it or not. So we want to remind all the drivers about the Florida statutes. So a little bit of statistics. Distraction is present during 52% of normal driving. That's still pretty high. And this could be changed. It's a mind habit that we must change through education and enforcement. Texting, and I do this all the time whenever we do presentations in high schools, colleges, and other entities. We do the 5 second test where we actually ask people to close their eyes and count to 5. And when they open, we say, you know, you just drove an entire length of a football field going 55 miles an hour. Would you do that in real life? And then people really react to that. Cell phone use is pretty high among 16 to 24-year-olds. It's not our immediate audience because we like to cover all audiences. Everyone that drives in South Florida uh, really falls under that as well. But also it's about, you know, setting the example. Teens whose parents drive distracted are 2 to 4 times likely to drive also distracted. So we must start, you know, within ourselves as parents, grandparents, and role models. One of the great things about any of our campaigns that we do here in District 6 is that we try to make your lives easier, whether you're in the communication sector or you run your social media for your entity, by providing all your resources in one site. And that site is FDOT This is your go-to, your one-stop shop to get all of the materials that you will see today in this presentation, including social media, digital versions of our tip cards, our posters, and a lot of them are already translated in English, Spanish, and Haitian Creole, which I'll show you later a few things. And this website is constantly being updated with our schedules, with our collateral materials. So please make sure you save this on your favorites because it will be your go-to whenever it's related to our safety campaigns and programs. So our branding really hasn't changed because it's been proved that you know, our branding sticks. It's now practically a household name, not only here in South Florida but in pretty much the entire state. And in the last few years, we've been lucky that our campaign from here has transcended beyond the state level. If actually we've had some partners that have taken our messaging and our branding on a national and even international level. So we're thankful for that. So on the bottom left, you can see a sample of the Put It Down campaign, um, which is a still from the public service announcement video that you will see later that we took. The message is simple: no text, no call, nothing is worth losing life over. And on the right is a sample of the tip card in English with the statute and the offenses information for drivers that violate that law. And these are tip cards that I usually give through the Community Traffic Safety Team program to the CTST members, particularly our law enforcement community, whenever they're going to do selective enforcement or multi-agency operations.
We do have them available for all those. So if you're non-law enforcement and you're still interested in having some, we'll make sure to get you how many ever you need.
Correct. So again, I'm sorry, can you go back one? There you go. That was one side of the tip card. The other side is on the right-hand side with some statistics that you can also share. Another part of our gamut of collateral materials that we produce on a digital level is the email blast. We have created a few that are strategically sent throughout the campaign run. These are only sent through us to you via email for you to disseminate via email to your databases. They usually contain campaign messaging, statistic. In some instances, it could be a video embedded or some sort of visual image. And of course, we list all of the partner logos at the very end to show that we are unified in this campaign. So here are a sample of our social media postings that we've created. These already they have been approved by Tallahassee, so they're good to go. And you will have once we send you a follow-up email with a calendar, it will tell you exactly when to post these, the dates. There's exact dates dedicated to these. As you can see, there's one coming up with for St. Patrick's Day, and also for spring break, as you can see. And they also, we will also have on a separate information the actual verbiage of this, the text, the messaging. So in case you want to use that text when you're writing in social media, that way our message is uniformed and it's the same throughout all of our partners. So let's see if the audio works, but I do just wanted to show you our public service announcement video. I don't, let's see. Well, it's okay. While it's running, I'll discuss it. This is a public service announcement video that we did a few years ago through a partnership with Miami-Dade County Police and Fire Department. This is a 60-second version. There's a 30-second and a 15-second version of what could happen due to distraction. As you can see, there's a lot of people involved. Obviously, there's a crash that occurred because of the distracted driver. And you can see a mangled cyclist that was just taken in a gurney to the ambulance. And this is pretty powerful images with actually the only audio you hear is pretty much ambient sound of what's going on, people moving around, and at the very end it says put it down. And we've shown these a lot in schools, colleges, universities, and we've also been airing these not only in our own social media, but also with some of our third-party vendors like gas station TVs on the gas station monitors. In the past, we've put them on movie theaters, also on Freebie, and also on big scale geocentric social media companies. And we really recommend and urge you to use this video not only in social media, but if you for those entities that have TV monitors or TV channels within your entities, please share them as well. And we do have these in English and in Spanish versions only. So just a quick overview of the campaign schedule. Obviously today being the last week of February, it's our partnership kickoff. Starting in March, we'll start distributing the campaign materials with the official launch being March the 2nd, and the first e-blast will be March 8th. So you will be getting that information via email and with the scheduling. Then April is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. So that's why we've actually bumped up, put it down to the beginning of the year as opposed to the fall like we used to do in the past. We are planning, COVID permitting, a tentative press conference or a combination of press conference and law enforcement event in April. We're still trying to see what it's going to look like, but our partners at Florida Highway Patrol have agreed to co-host it with us should we be approved. I don't know if you have anything to add about that, Jeanette.
To just stay posted, we'll keep you all posted. Stay tuned because we don't know how restricted or not we will be. We don't know how many folks they're going to allow us to attend. So things are very different than other years, but we're happy to at least be able to run the full campaign versus our mini campaigns that we had to do last year. Obviously, this is something that we're all getting used to and just trying to continue with our day-to-day lives following whatever protocols are put in place. So we're still waiting to hear from central office and our local PIO office to see how and if we will be able to do this. So we'll keep you guys all posted.
And just to add to the enforcement aspect of things, regardless of whether this event happens or not, my program, the Community Traffic Safety Program for our district, continues to be available to all of our law enforcement agencies. Should you wish to pursue selective enforcement or multi-agency operations, please reach out to me directly, and I'll be happy to coordinate that directly for you guys. I know that in the last pretty much later part of last year and early part of this year, the Northeast Traffic Safety Team, which covers pretty much from Miami Gardens, Golden Beach, Aventura, all the way south to El Portal and Biscayne Park and North Bay Village, they've been pretty active on doing multi-agency operations. So we thank you for keeping that part of the program sustained, and we offer that same type of coordination with the other teams. So getting back to the schedule, in May, we'll continue with e-blast distribution and social media posting. And then we will wrap up at the end of the month with our partner survey. I can't stress this enough how important the survey is for us because it allows us to gauge the activity that was performed by not only us in DOT, but by you, the campaign partners. So we can report back in the final campaign report, which all of you will get from us, the success and the best practices that we were able to do during this campaign run. And once the not only the schedule, but pretty much once the campaign is over, the report will be posted also at fdotsafetyresources.com.
How can you help? It's really easy for all of you to help us. And honestly, we can't do this campaign without you. We just ask that you promote the campaign messaging throughout your organization. For example, we're going to provide you with all the campaign materials. We ask that you use your communication resources, whether it be a social media platform, whether it's an existing email database, whether it's an event, whether it's a television monitor that you have in your lobby. Any which way that you can think of, we ask that you please help us share these messages. If you're not sure, let us know. We're happy to set up a call and we can go through your resources and see how we can maximize on those. The point is for us to get the message out and try to put a stop to distracted driving. Join us by sponsoring events. We understand that events now are very limited, but for example, if you already have something scheduled, give us a heads up. Let us know, hey, we're allowed with the current restrictions to proceed with such and such event, and this is how we're going to do so. Is there a way to fit in the campaign? If it's something that's a drive-by, or depending on what it is, sometimes we can get approval. Otherwise, we can provide you with materials. Help generate local media interest for the campaign. If you find a way, if you're law enforcement and you realize that there's an accident that happened and you already know that it was linked to distracted driving, that's a perfect opportunity to bring it up to the media. We can put out a press release. We can remind folks of the dangers that are associated with distracted driving. Unfortunately, sometimes until they see the consequences, it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really help them realize, that it's true, that it's real, instead of them just driving about their ways, texting and driving, thinking that, oh, nothing's going to happen. So sometimes these things really help put things into perspective. Invite us to participate in your organization's events, like I said before. If you need printed materials, let us know. We're happy to provide you with them. And if you have any other ideas that you think will work for you or will work with the campaign, share them with us. We're happy, to help. We're always open for additional ideas, comments. However you guys think we can make this better, we're in this together. With your partnerships is how we're successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette, and she's completely right. This is a two-way street, so we're always open to suggestions and ideas of how to make our campaigns more effective through you. So please don't hesitate to contact either Jeanette or I with anything that you have throughout the campaign run, and even after when the campaign's over, we can definitely review that with you.
And please do not forget to do those surveys at the end of the campaign. Unfortunately, it's the only way that we can quantify all of your efforts. It's the only way to show to central office, to our local district, exactly what our partners are doing and how often we're sharing these messages throughout the community.
Correct. And because of that, it's so important. It will definitely show and what we're doing in South Florida to combat this distracted driving, and it shows all the efforts that we're doing collectively. So a quick overview, a little heads up of the rest of the campaign schedule for this year. So we shifted, put it down to the beginning of the year so it can coincide with the National Distracted Driving Awareness Month in April. So the put it down, as I mentioned, will run from March to May. Ride Smart Florida is our motorcycle safety awareness. We will dedicate some time to that in the month of May as well. Alert Today Alive Tomorrow is our bike and pedestrian safety awareness campaign, which is scheduled to run from June to October. So that way we cover school finishing, summer, and back to school. And then our Drive Safe aggressive driving awareness campaign has been shifted down to the fall and early winter. So it's going to launch in September of this year, and it will continue past the holidays to January of next year. Again, these have been pre-approved dates. They could change, but we will definitely keep you posted should that happen. And of course, we will reach out to you to remind you that these campaigns are coming up so we can count on your partnership once again. And with that, we've pretty much concluded the presentation. I do thank you all for being a partner. And I do want to open this opportunity for any questions or input or suggestions for Jeanette and I. I have a hand up from Stephanie Eisenberg.
Good morning. Thank you so much for this. I had a quick question. I work with Florida's Turnpike Enterprise as a community outreach specialist, and I use the Put It Down campaign every month in our social media campaigns. I really love all the information we're getting from you and all of the posts. I was wondering, would it be possible to get these images sized for both Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram? Or is it okay if our marketing team resizes the images when we use them, because we want to make sure we use them in the best format for each service?
Yes. Let me confirm. Oh, Carlos, go ahead.
Yeah, you can definitely use them. We just ask you not to modify the content per se. If you can, though, just send us your version so we can just look at it real quick. But that should be fine. And we do appreciate the continuous support throughout the year, not just during the campaign season. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much.
I'm glad to have you on board. My good friend Joaquin Azar.
Good morning to all, Carlos.
Hello.
Morning.
And everybody. We do appreciate what throughout the years you've been doing, not only with the education to the community, but also the schools.
Thank you.
We know what we're going through. Just a quick question. See, we know where we are in the midst of the pandemic, but do you foresee that we're going back to actually educating the customers at service facilities and the gathering events with limited attendance?
Well, per DOT policy and protocol as it stands right now, we're not allowed to do face-to-face. However, the moment that changes, you'll be the first to know. In fact, everybody here will be notified of that. But Joaquin, in the meantime, as Jeanette mentioned, if there are a need for materials that we can at the very least provide to you to keep in your business, we'll be happy to get them to you.
Absolutely. We'll be in contact, and then we'll move for this. So.
But believe me, we're aching to be back out on the road and be what we do best, to be with the community. So believe me, we're waiting.
And thank you, Joaquin, because all of your events and the efforts that we've done at your service stations have been great and have really helped the campaign. So we thank you.
Absolutely. And customers keep asking for that, though. And
that's great.
The kids are now driving.
I know.
Really needs to be educated now. So that's the next generation that we need to be partnering hand to hand. But thank you all for all the education and the hard effort that we have put throughout this too.
Thank you. And as soon as we can do face-to-face, we'll keep you posted.
Absolutely.
Great. Next, I see Rita Riedels.
Yes, thank you. Hi, Carlos. Wow, I applaud you. I think in my lifetime, you're probably a handful of people that actually pronounced my last name correctly. I have to usually give like the American version, which I tell them it's like Cheerios, but it is Riedels, and a lot of people actually think it's Latin or Hispanic. It's actually Greek, but I am Latin. I'm from Venezuela originally, but my daddy is Greek, and it's actually Veriopoulos. So.
Oh, well, nice to meet a fellow paisana. I'm Venezuelan too.
Mira, soy de Caracas, pero mi papá es griego. Cuando emigraron, cuando emigró mi abuelito, escribieron Veriópulos, escribieron Berreos, y así se quedó, pero en Grecia es Verioculos. Anyhow, my question is this: are we? I don't know if restricted is the correct word. Do we have to follow the social media posting? It has to be an everyday thing, or can we, post maybe a couple times a week? Can we choose the frequency with which we promote
Yeah,
the campaign?
well, yeah, the answer is yes. Although we suggest that we've created an actual schedule
Yes,
calendar.
that's why I asked, because I know that there's, you've got dates assigned, specific dates
Right.
assigned. But I'm just asking questions that I think Martha, which is the director of our department, might have. That, well, do we have flexibility in, because we also have perhaps some days where our social media is crowded and we might not be able to post the ones that we scheduled.
You do. At the end of the day, what we want is for you guys to get the message out. And if you're going to make some adjustments, give us a heads up so that we know that, we can, because we kind of track it as well. And we try to, capture the screenshot. So if you switch it up, just let us know so that we know what date to look for so that we can grab your screenshot.
Okay. And I mean, we would obviously be tagging,
Awesome. Yes, that would be
so
great.
that you get the direct notification of
Right.
our post.
Thank you.
That's a good point. I'm so glad you brought that up for everyone who's listening. We do ask, obviously, when you're doing postings on social media, to make sure that you tag DOT so we can recognize you as well.
Yes.
That work. And Rita, just to add to that, yeah, we encourage you to follow the schedule, but there's also other materials that you can put in between. There's the digital version of the poster. There's the PSA. There's other things that you can add to veer off of the schedule a little bit too, and you can still keep on schedule as well.
Correct. Yeah, and not necessarily veering off. I'm just saying that there may be some days where we might not be able to post something that was on the schedule. Can I just pick up where where your schedule leaves off and then post the next one coming up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay, great. Well, what a pleasure, and it's always a huge pleasure and pride to meet a fellow Venezolano, un paisano. I'm going back and forth with English because I'm not sure that everyone speaks Spanish, but
Right.
Carlos, un placer
Gracias.
y Dios te bendiga y te siga colmando de bendiciones.
Amen. Thank you, and I look forward to working with you. And thank you for
Likewise.
joining us.
Absolutely, right back at you. Thank you all for the really impressive work. I was very impressed, for whatever it's worth to you. Very impressed with your the presentation and the level of amount of work. I can see that you are putting in a lot of work, and I'm sure accommodating with the pandemic what you've had to do. So really impressed, and I applaud you, Jeanette, and
Thank
Carlos,
you.
and everyone on both of your teams.
Thank you.
And for all of you to also know, FDOT will post on the days that's on the schedule. If it's easier to just repost what they post, you can do that as well.
Oh,
whatever
good point.
works best for you.
Good point. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. There's a hand from Otavia Bridges.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I just had a quick question in reference to the surveys. So will they be distributed at the end of the actual campaign? And do we have to go online to assess them, or will we be sent any of those surveys at the end of each campaign? And what information is being captured?
Right. I did explain that to Brian a little bit in the past, but I'll tell you personally. These are sent practically at the end of the campaign. They're sent via email to everybody that is registered as a representative, as a partner, and it's digital. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeanette. Once they open the link, it's a form that they fill out. And do they have to scan it, or is it just embedded in the?
They can usually just fill it out. But Octavia, if it's easier for you to do as you go, and we can do this for all the partners, we can send you guys a copy if it makes it easier at the beginning, that you can keep track. And then at the end, when we send you the digital format, you just fill it in.
Okay, that sounds great. I mean,
Right.
he said he spoke with Brian, so Brian is pretty good with that. I just,
Okay.
I just had that question. But that sounds good to me, actually.
Yeah, and,
Perfect.
what
So we'll
we're
do that.
looking for in this survey is it's pretty much a complete overview of what each partner has done. If you post it on social media, how many times, and what is the audience that you have? That kind of tracking. If you had an event, how many events did you have, and how many people attended that event? If you are in law enforcement, how many enforcement operations or details did you do where you promoted our campaign by distributing the tip cards? All of those get tabulated, and they account for impressions at the end. um, just to give you a quick overview how big this campaign really has been. um, I'm going to refer to 2019, which was really our stellar year, where we had over 100 campaign partners. We did over 70 events, uh, at least 20 law enforcement details, and an unprecedented 353.3 million impressions due to everybody using our materials, both social media, our PSA video. So we had a pretty impressive year, but it also didn't happen if we didn't get that report back from everybody. So every view, every impression, every little eye that actually gets to see this campaign really counts. So I really urge you to keep track of that, because it will help us show that we are doing something here in South Florida.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
again,
And
oops,
we would
sorry.
definitely love the material. So I know we spoke last time about it. So whenever you're ready to meet up with us, we're here.
Yes, I will personally go to UM and drop them up for you guys for sure.
Thank you.
Perfect. And again, it really may be easier that every time you do something, every time you make a post, just jot it down. Maybe use, I don't know, maybe put it on your bulletin board so that at the end, the survey doesn't seem so tedious, because it's really simple, but it does. I mean, we do need for you to list the events, the post, um, what you posted, how many people saw it, or if it was an event, what you did and how many people were there. So it's just, how many materials you gave out. So it's just little things that if you keep track as you go along, it'll be super easy at the end.
Got you. Thank you.
Thank you, Octavia. Appreciate it. Do we have anyone else?
And everyone who's already requested materials, so throughout this week and next, we will be reaching out to you to coordinate so that we can deliver materials.
Yes. Any other questions?
Yeah, Carlos, this is Paul Chance. Can you hear me?
Hey,
Hi,
Paul.
Paul.
Hey, how y'all doing? Uh, a lot of times what we do is we kind of on Twitter and Instagram and whatnot, we kind of share your information. Would
Perfect.
that be would that be counted, or will we be counting that as shit? How how will we count that?
Absolutely, Paul.
Oh yes. Oh, someone's phone. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely, that works.
Yeah, Paul. That works, and I think yeah, anything that you post will definitely be part of that for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments, ideas?
No.
Looks like no.
Okay. Well, we thank all of our partners for joining us today. We can't do this without you. I know there's some that are listed here that couldn't be with us, and we'll share this presentation with them after. But at any time, like I mentioned, should you know of any other entity that wants to join or should join, please let us know so we can reach out to them and coordinate. And we're here to help you make life easier by empowering you with our safety messages and our materials. And on behalf of my consultant team at MRG and myself, thank you guys, and we ask you to be safe and of course to put it down.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks so
Remember, we're here
much.
if you have any
Bye bye.
questions. We can help you every step of the way.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Have a good one.
Take
Bye,
care.
everyone. Thank you.
Take it easy.